Hey, it's Marcus here with Functional Bodybuilding, and if you've ever hit a hard workout and fell to the floor gasping for air, you probably know that those last few reps that you did got a little sloppy. Maybe they even left you vulnerable to injury, or just not feeling your best for the rest of the day. So today I'm going to show you how to progress and challenge your capacity for cardio and weights all together using interval weight training or IWT as a training format. We are going to crush your quads, we're going to hammer your hamstrings, we're going to get your heart rate up, but we're still going to stay in control and be able to finish every set with quality. Here's how we do it, start to finish, all under 1 hour. Here we go. With functional bodybuilding, we always use warm-ups to rev up the motor patterns and muscles that we're going to be using for the day of training. Adding a bit of weight within your warm-up will help you jump right into the next portion without needing to do too many warm-up sets once you transition into your IWT.
Yo, what you got in that bag? Candy, cigarettes, and a Playboy mag? Many used to have to work for that. Wait for me, gotta dial up. Can't call my landline cause it's all tied up. Just bike over then. Oh, oh, oh.
Time to get into this interval weight training. We're gonna do slant board front squats into kettlebell thrusters, finish with a high effort on the bike, and that combination is extremely anterior leg dominant. So we're hitting the front of the legs. In our second IWT, we'll get to the posterior chain.
Losing all my focus, I can't even control it. You know your lips are golden, baby, get me high. Touching me like
A couple key points to mention here about this first interval weight training triplet that we're doing. First is the cyclist front squats. I'm choosing a cyclist front squat with the heels elevated to put more of an emphasis on the anterior chain of the legs. This is going to complement what we have coming up in the second half of the workout, which is going to be more posterior chain dominant. Secondly, the kettlebell thruster is another lighter weight training movement that's a bit more dynamic, and it's going to complement the cyclist front squats that we're doing. Lastly, getting on the bike and choosing the assault bike as the monostructural cardiovascular piece that we're going to use in conjunction with squatting is a great way to really hammer those legs even further and get that anterior compartment, the quads, to really do a lot of work in this interval weight training. Oh yeah. Oh. Okay, set one done. 6 reps on the front squat, 9 reps on the thruster, 90 seconds on the bike. I got about 30 cals. So we're gonna try and keep that same effort on every set. I've got between 2 and 3 minutes to recover, and I wanna get myself back close to baseline so I can push it with good quality on these 2 weighted movements and bring the same effort to the bike. If you find yourself doing interval weight training and your effort on the bike or the runner is starting to slow down considerably, it likely means you pushed it too hard to begin with. These are not all-out sprints, but they're definitely not coasting efforts. You got to be able to bring some level of intensity here, knowing that you have a 2-minute recovery coming afterwards.
I was in the dark and baby, you're the light. You're from another planet. I've never felt like this. I don't know how I ever survived without it. I'm starry-eyed. Got me upside down, spinning around you. Wanna taste the glass, dance without. Take a trip around your body. Boy, I love the way you got me. Starry-eyed. Got me starry-eyed.
Definitely starting to feel that lactic acid accumulation in the legs. So during a rest period, I try and keep moving. It's gonna clear that stuff out.
improve your quality on the coming sets, and ultimately let you recover faster from your training. You don't want to let that just sit and pool into your legs. So laying down right now is not the move. Keep active, keep moving.
Cover me in glitter till I'm shining bright. I never wanna leave the sky. The way you made me feel alive. I was in the dark and baby, you're the light. You're from another planet. I've never felt like this. I don't know how I ever survived without it. I'm starry-eyed. Got me upside down, spinning around you. Wanna taste the glass, dance with the take a trip around your
body. If you pace it right, after this last set, you really should feel like you don't want to do another one. But prior to that, you should feel like I could do one more. I could do one more. That was a good finish.
As we're diving into this second interval weight training triplet, I want to talk about a couple key points. First is the added range of motion of this particular deadlift is going to help us work end range strength and flexibility while we're also getting a solid strength stimulus. See, hitting the same movement on the second exercise, this is point number 2, but changing up the stance, the loading implement, and even the range of motion is going to help us target different parts of the posterior chain. That's why moving on to a kettlebell deadlift right after a deficit barbell deadlift makes sense in our training principles. Lastly, choosing a non-complementary cardio movement like the runner that's also emphasizing the same posterior chain works well in this combination. So the working sets and rest period timing is somewhat close together, allowing you to stay fresh on every single set.
Now I'm outside. I could go for a run in my yard, in my front area on my street, but I absolutely love having something like a runner for those people in the gym or even in the backyard. It's such a nice complement to doing stuff in the gym. You have this measurable, very repeatable computer printout in your face, lets you know where your effort is at. Just like the bike, I could keep up a wattage. I always know that I'm actually giving the same sustainable efforts, even though I'm working at a pretty high effort level on my scale. And this combination, hamstring dominant, glute dominant, same thing here, different levels and ranges of motion from hardest to easiest before getting on the runner. Such a great combination. And this, pulling with your hamstrings on the tread, is a great complement to this posterior chain IWT. This is good. belly is beating from your heart, you know you're getting some good cardiac output. This is high threshold aerobic work with a touch of lactic acid buildup locally in the muscles that we're overtaxing. So deadlift, run, hamstrings, by the end of that interval, they get a little hot, they get a little burny. But notice that I'm not like laying on the floor passed out, because we want to keep the quality high on every set, and you're taking sufficient rest to do that, as long as you don't burn it out too fast on your interval over here. Progress does not mean you have to crush yourself into oblivion on these intervals. One final thing I love about the assault runner when we're doing training like this is that I'm such a big proponent of working on quality movement, good form, good technique. The curve and the ability to see my output on the screen, it's forcing me into some running mechanics that make sense for my body, and I can make small adjustments and see how it impacts my performance in real time. You could do the same thing on a trail or out on the street. I just find the feedback is so much quicker here. Makes this really feel like a training environment that I can actually learn while I'm doing. So consider that when you're actually doing training with intervals and running.
We're now finishing with our strength balance finisher, and one thing I know is that I never like to end a workout at max intensity. The brain needs to slow down and consolidate some of the motor outputs with slowing down and controlling some exercises. A finisher that works a joint-specific balance from front to back is a great way to approach this. This finisher combines two of my favorite knee bulletproofing exercises, these movements that I've learned from my friend Ben Patrick, all into one superset.
Hey, it's really important that you understand that everything that's been done today in this training session is totally regressed and scalable down to whatever level you have. The first two interval weight trainings that we did, it's just about taking lighter loads or potentially choosing a less complex movement like the thruster. Maybe you just do a kettlebell squat or a goblet squat, or the deficit deadlift. Maybe you just do a traditional deadlift or do a good morning or something else that's just a hinge at the hip. Now this exercise seems extremely advanced, and it is. You can see I'm having to use assistance to get back up. If you want to regress this, it does regress down to any level of fitness. All you need is a box or a bench in front of you, and here I'm doing assisted partial range of motion Nordics. Come down, hands, push back up, just like that. once you've mastered sitting back onto your heels and you feel confident there, you can go into the reverse Nordic just to a partial range of motion. You put that bench behind you, tap your shoulders, come back up. If I move back a little bit, it's like I'm not going quite as far. You can adjust the height of that, but again, everything scales and regresses to your level. Okay, with cleanup, with warm up, with equipment setup, everything start to finish. Clock says 56 minutes right now. So I got a workout in under an hour. There was purposeful warm up to it that got me prepped for the training. There was interval weight training, which got me great strength efforts and also some high threshold aerobic work. So intensity that's not gonna burn you out. And then some excellent finishers to work on knee bulletproofing, getting my knees strong, getting my hamstrings really strong, and my lower body mobile. You can get some of that too. Go check it out.
All right, go give this a try and share it with a friend. See how it goes. I want to know, does it feel good when you can accomplish a challenging workout and still move with quality all the way through? If you loved it, click the link in the description below and try 2 weeks of my Persist training program for free. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.